मॉर्निंग अस्सलाम वालेकुम बेटा। गुड मॉर्निंग एंड अस्सलाम वालेकुम। कैन यू हियर मी बेटा? काइंडली रिप्लाई मी इन चैट बॉक्स। गुड मॉर्निंग एंड अस्सलाम वालेकुम बेटा। कैन यू हियर मी ऑल? काइंडली रिप्लाई मी इन चैट बॉक्स। ओके Fauziya, now tell me, can you hear me now? Alaikum salam warahmatullah. Beta, please tell me, can you hear me all? Fauziya, I think you should check your sound settings as well. Unzila, can you hear me beta? Okay, let me check then again. Now, can you hear me all? Hurry up, better tell me so that I can start my lecture. Daniel, I think you should check your sound settings, beta. Harim, can you hear me, beta? Okay, just give me 2 seconds to admit all the students and we are going to start the lecture. Let me admit all the students first. Okay, so I think we should start our lecture today. So what are we going to study today? So, today is our lecture number 9. Today is our lecture number 9 and date is 2nd of July 2020. Today is our lecture number 9 and date is 2nd July 2020. Acha. In the meanwhile, beta, all of you just keep on writing present in chat box. Who else is joining me? Kindly keep on writing present in the chat box as well. Later on, I will copy down your attendance. Okay? So let's move towards the lecture now. As I told you that today is our lecture number 9 and date is 2nd of July 2020. The students who are just joining me, beta, kindly write down present in your chat box. Mushke Fatma, I think today is your first or second class. You were absent in previous classes if I am not wrong. Okay, so let's start now. What are we going to study today? Today our topic is direct and indirect speech, but let me tell you that in today's lecture we will only study about the rules of direct and indirect speech. Why? Because before we start doing proper conversions of direct into indirect speech, it is very important for us to know and to learn the rules first. Okay? The students who are just joining me, better kindly write down present in your chat box. Okay, so what I was telling you that today our topic is direct and indirect speech, And as I told you that in today's lecture we will only discuss the rules and examples of changing direct into indirect speech. Today we are not going to do the proper conversion of direct into indirect. It's only about the rules. Okay? So we can say that direct and indirect speech is not a new topic for you people. You people have been studying it, I think, since your previous classes, like you have studied in class 6, 7, 8, 9, and now 10. If you remember, I have asked you to keep your English language copies of class 9 very safely with you people. Kindly don't give your English language copies of class 9 to anybody, to any other student. Why? Because the same things we are going to study in class 10 as well. So those previous copies of class 9 will be very helpful for you people. So please don't give your previous copies to anybody. Okay? So let's start. As I told you that in today's lecture we will only study about the rules of changing direct and indirect speech. Before we start doing proper conversions of direct into indirect speech, it is very important for us to learn the rules of changing direct into indirect speech. And you must have already written the rules of changing direct into indirect speech into your language copies of class 9 as well. Okay, so please keep your copies of English language of class 9 very safely with you people. Okay, so let's start now. English language has two ways. English language has two ways to narrate the spoken words of a person. These two ways are as follows. The first one is direct speech, and the second one is indirect speech. These two ways are usually used to convey a message of person to an other person. So in English, we can convey the message or we can narrate the spoken words of the person to another person in two ways. There are two ways of doing this thing. The first one is known as direct speech and the second one is known as indirect speech. Okay, what is direct speech? Mr. John said to me, I have brought a book for you. So this is a way of narrating message of one person to another person is known as direct speech where we quote the exact words of the person because these are the exact words of the person. That is why we have enclosed them in inverted commas. Okay, whenever we are quoting or whenever we are delivering one person's message to another person in direct speech, we always quote the exact uh, words of that person and we write those words in inverted commas. What is indirect speech? Mr. John told me that he had brought a book for me. Now see, the meaning of the message is same. Whatever the meaning of the message is in direct speech, it has the same meaning in indirect speech as well. But only what is the difference here? The difference is we have not quoted the exact words of the speaker, exact words of the person. That is why few changes we have made here, like we have removed the inverted commas and we have used conjunction that over here. So this is the way of narrating the message of one person to another person in English language, which is known as direct speech, where we always quote the exact words of a person, of the speaker, and indirect speech, where we quote the meaning remains same, but little bit changes are made by us. Okay. Acha, once again I want to repeat that the students who are just joining me, please write down present in the chat box. Later on I will copy down your attendance. Once again I am repeating, the students who have just joined me, beta oh, please write present in the chat box and later on I will copy down this attendance in the attendance register. Okay, I hope I am clear to you now. Let's move forward. Okay, before learning before learning the rules for conversion, direct speech into indirect speech, you must learn you must learn the following two components of a sentence of a direct speech. Okay, before we start learning the changing of direct speech into indirect speech, direct speech and into direct speech into indirect speech, we must know there are two parts of a sentence. There are two parts or two components of a sentence. Okay, Tasin and Shifa Firhan, you have just joined me, beta. Kindly write present in the chat box. The students who are joining me, kindly write chat box in the chat box. Kindly write present. Okay. Okay, so what I was telling you that before learning the transformation of direct speech into indirect speech, it is very important for us to know that there are two components of a sentence in direct speech. And what are the names of those two components? The first one is known as reporting verb. See, the verb of the first sentence before the actual words of the speaker is called a reporting verb. So it means that before the actual words of the speaker, the verb is known as reporting verb. Here is the example. He says, "You are an intelligent student." Now, see, these are the actual words of a speaker. You are an intelligent student. These are the actual words of a speaker. But before the actual words of the speaker, the verb is known as reporting verb, and that verb is this says. Okay, so this says is known as reporting verb. Okay, before the actual words of a speaker, the verb which is given is known as reporting verb. See, says is the verb here, so it is known as reporting verb. They said we are listening to the news. So these are the actual words of the speaker. Before these actual words of the speaker, the verb is known as reporting verb. Said is reporting verb here. They will say, you will say, "I need your help." So these are the actual words of the speaker, and before these actual words, the verb is known as reporting verb, and say is reporting verb here. This is one component. Now the second component, reported speech. The second sentence, actual words of speaker that is enclosed in inverted commas is known as reported speech. Okay, it means that whatever the sentence, whatever the words which are quoted or enclosed in inverted commas are known as reported speech. He says, "You are an intelligent student." "You are an intelligent student" is enclosed in inverted commas. That is why it is known as reported speech. He said, "I need your help." "I need your help" is enclosed in inverted commas. So it is known as reported speech. So these are the two components of a sentence in a direct speech. The first one is known as reporting verb. Reporting verb is the verb which is written before the actual words of the speaker. Right? These are the actual words of the speaker, and this is the verb, reporting verb. Says is reporting verb. "You are an intelligent student" is enclosed in inverted commas. It is known as reported speech. He said is reporting verb. "I need your help" is reported speech. I hope it is clear to you now what is the difference between reporting verb and reported speech. I hope they are clear to you now. Reporting verb is before the words written in inverted commas, and reported verb are the actual words of the speaker speaker which are enclosed in inverted commas. I hope these two things are clear to you now. Okay, once again I'm repeating, the students who have just joined me in the class, kindly write down present in the chat box. Okay, so now we are moving towards the rules and examples. Now we are moving towards the rules and examples of changing direct into indirect speech. Rule number one. Rule number one is words of the speaker. Okay, as I told you in the previous slide, the words of the speaker are known as reported speech. So, rule number one is when we change direct into indirect speech, words of the speaker or reported speech are not enclosed in inverted commas in indirect speech. Okay, whenever we are changing direct speech into indirect speech, we remove the inverted commas. Okay, we remove the inverted commas. So here is the example in front of you. Direct speech is I said to her, I am sleeping. Here said is reporting verb. Okay. I am sleeping is enclosed in inverted commas. So it is reported speech. These are the two components of direct speech. But now we are going to change this direct speech into indirect speech. See, I told her that I was sleeping. The rule number one is fulfilled. We have removed the inverted commas. Okay. So when we change direct speech into indirect speech, we always remove the inverted commas. Let's move forward now. Rule number two. What is rule number two? Rule number two is usage of word that. The conjunction that is always used between reporting verb and reported speech in indirect speech. So here is another rule. The first one was the removal of inverted commas, and now the second one is after removing the inverted commas, we use word or conjunction that between the reporting verb and reported speech. Okay, see, she said to her is reporting verb, you are looking beautiful is reported speech. Now, when we are changing this direct speech into indirect speech, first of all, we have to remove inverted commas and then we have to write that in between these two components of the sentence. The first one, she said to her, changed into she told her, and now conjunction that is used in between these two components. She told her that she was looking beautiful. So now rule number two is already fulfilled. I hope these two rules are clear to you now. Let's move forward. This is the most important part of direct speech into indirect speech to learn. Okay, whenever we are going to change direct speech into indirect speech, there is another rule of changing the tense of reported speech. Okay, so it is very important for all of you to learn the conversion of one tense into another tense very carefully. You have to learn which tense into changes into which tense. Okay, you have to learn the names of those tenses. Before I start telling you about the transformation of these tenses, I want to repeat once again, the students who have just joined me like Mashoor, you have joined me beta, kindly write present in the chat box, otherwise your attendance will be missed. Okay, I'm repeating once again, Mashood, if you are there, beta kindly write present in the chat box. Later on, I will check your attendance. This attendance is very important. Okay, let's start. Let's move towards the lecture now. So, we are on rule number 3, and rule number 3 is change in the tense of reported speech. So, first of all, present indefinite tense goes into past indefinite, present continuous into past continuous, present perfect into past perfect, present perfect continuous into past perfect continuous, past indefinite into past perfect into past perfect. It means that past perfect will not change. It will remain same. Past perfect continuous into the same tense, no change at all. Will or shall into would or should, can into could, and may into might. I hope this is clear to you. Present into past indefinite, present continuous into past continuous, present perfect into past perfect, present perfect continuous into past perfect continuous, past indefinite into past perfect. Okay, past perfect and past perfect continuous never change. They always remain the same. Okay, will or shall into would or should, can into could, and may into might. So this was the rule number 3 of changing direct speech into indirect speech. You have to learn these conversions of first tense into another tense on fingertips. On fingertips, you should know that what tense goes into another tense. How? Okay? Okay, the students who have just joined me, like shows up, you have just joined me in beta, kindly write present in the chat box. Okay, let's move towards the lecture. Okay, exceptional cases. There are few exceptional cases as well. And what are these cases? Acha. In my previous slide, I have told you that rule number 3 is change of tense. One tense goes into an other tense, but we have few exceptional cases as well. We have few cases where we are not supposed to change one tense into an other tense. And what are those exceptional cases? The first case is tense of the reported speech will not change if it is universal truth, some fact of science, or fact of nature. Okay, so now kindly keep it in your mind that tense of the reported speech will never change. Tense of the reported speech will not change if any universal truth, any fact of nature or fact of science is given there. ओके, यानी कि कुदरत का कोई काम है, कुदरत का कोई अमल है, साइंस का कोई अमल है, उसका टेंस हम कभी भी चेंज नहीं करेंगे. वी विल नेवर चेंज टेंस ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग. See the example here. He said the sun rises in the east. Obviously, sun rises in the east is a universal truth. It's a fact of nature. ये कुदरत का एक अमल है. कुदरत का एक अमल है जो कि कभी भी चेंज नहीं हो सकता. सन हमेशा ईस्ट से ही राइज होगा. That is why we will never change the tense of this reported speech. See the conversion. He said that the sun rises in the east. Rises as it is rises, I have written. Rises is basically present indefinite tense. And according to the rule, it should be changed into past indefinite tense. But it is universal truth. It is law of nature. That is why I cannot change this present tense into past tense. And I have written the same tense, present indefinite tense again when I change this direct speech into indirect speech. Okay. So another exceptional case is if reporting verb is in present indefinite tense or future indefinite tense, tense of the reported speech will not change. I have told you what is reporting verb. Reporting verb are the actual words are the words which are written before words of the speaker. Okay, these are the actual words of the speaker. I do my work. These are the actual words of the speaker. So, reporting verb is always written before the actual words of the speaker. It means says is the reporting verb. Okay, now see, says is present indefinite tense. It means that I don't have changed the tense of the reported speech. Okay, if reporting verb is in present indefinite tense, reported speech will also remain in present indefinite tense. Okay, he says I do my work. He says that he does his work. Do is present indefinite tense and does is also present indefinite tense. Once again, I am repeating beta. If reporting verb is in present indefinite tense or in future indefinite tense, we are not supposed to change tense of the reported speech. If it is present indefinite tense, the tense of the reported speech will also remain in present indefinite tense. If the reporting verb is in future indefinite tense, the tense of the reported speech will also remain in present in future indefinite tense. Like example, see the example. He will say, I will write a letter. See, he will say as it is that he will write a letter. I'm sorry, I forgot to write W here in the spellings of write. It's a typing mistake. Okay, so focus on the example. If the reporting verb is in present indefinite tense or future indefinite tense, the rest of the tense of the reported speech will remain same. If it is future indefinite tense, the rest of the tense will also be in future indefinite tense. If it is in present indefinite tense, the rest of the tense will also remain in present indefinite tense. Okay. Now, the next rule number 4 is change in pronouns. But before we move towards the change in pronouns, it is very important for all of you to learn what are the pronouns and how many pronouns are there. We have three pronouns. The first one is first person pronoun, second person pronoun, and then third person pronoun. We have three kinds of person pronouns: first person pronoun, second person pronoun, and third person pronoun. Okay, now we have to see what comes under first person pronoun, what comes under second person pronoun, and what comes under third person pronoun. Before changing the pronouns of direct speech into indirect speech, beta, it is very important for all of you to know these pronouns. Okay, so what are the first person pronouns? The first person pronouns are I, my, me, mine, we, us, our, and ours. Okay, this is first person pronoun. What is second person pronoun? Second person pronouns are you, your, and yours. What are third person pronouns? Third person pronouns are he, she, it, they, them, their, they, theirs. Okay, beta, these are three person pronouns: first person pronoun, second person pronouns, and third person pronoun. Okay, now we are moving towards the rule number 4, which is known as change in pronoun. Beta, please listen this very carefully. It is very important for you to learn the change of pronouns because you people mostly make mistakes in tenses and change of pronouns. Okay, you people mostly make mistakes in change of pronouns and in change of tenses. You have to learn change of tenses on finger tips. Okay, and now how are we supposed to change the pronoun? Shahid beta, you have just joined in. Kindly write present in the chat box. Okay, let's move towards the change in pronouns. First person pronoun. What are the first person pronouns? I, we, me, mine, us, ours. Okay, first person pronouns normally change. Okay, beta. Normally change according to the speaker. Okay, according to the speaker of the speech. Okay, like change to the third person. Third person pronouns are he, she, they, his, her, their, him, her. Acha, see the example now. He told her, I want to meet your father. I is first person pronoun, and this first person pronoun will change according to the speaker. Who is speaker here? He is the speaker here. And he is third person pronoun. So according to the rule, first person pronouns changes to the third person. Okay? According to the speaker. Now see how I'm going to change it. He told her that I, first person pronoun, changes according to the speaker into the third person pronoun. I will go into he. Okay. He told her that he. Okay. Now want. Want is the first form of verb. That is why it's present indefinite tense. It means that present indefinite tense will change into past indefinite tense. So he told her that he wanted. Present indefinite tense into past indefinite tense. Wanted to meet. Acha. Now, your. Your is the second person pronoun. And second person pronoun always changes according to the listener. Okay? And who is the listener here? Her is listener here. He told her that he wanted to meet her father. Beta, I am repeating once again. We are following the complete rules here. First of all, he told her. He told her that the first rule is removal of inverted commas. We have removed all the commas here. Now, the second rule was use of conjunction that. I have used that here. Now, I is the first person pronoun and it always changes according to the speaker into third person pronoun. So it will be he here. I into he. Want is present indefinite tense and it will change into past indefinite tense. It means wanted. He wanted to meet. Now your. Your is the second person pronoun and it always changes according to the listener. Listener is her here. Okay? So wanted to meet her father. He told her that he wanted to meet her father. I hope this is clear to you. Number two, there will be no change in the pronouns when the speaker reports his own words. अच्छा, whenever the speaker is quoting his own word, जब वो अपने ही अल्फाज खुद लिख रहा है, अपनी ही बात कर रहा है, so there will be no change in the pronoun. See the example. I said, inverted commas begin, I am going. Now, how are we going to change into indirect? I said, removal of inverted commas, use of that. There will be no change in the pronoun because the speaker is talking about himself. I am going. Am is past, sorry, present continuous tense. Am going is present continuous tense. And present continuous tense always changes into past continuous tense. So it should be was going. I said that I was going. Okay, I hope these two things are clear. The first person pronoun of the reported speech always changes according to the speaker of the reporting word, and second person pronoun you always changes according to the listener of the reporting verb. There will be no change in the pronouns when the speaker is reporting his own words. Okay, what is next? सेकंड पर्सन प्रोनाउन यू और योर्स, वही बात जो मैंने आपको पहले बताई है। सेकंड पर्सन प्रोनाउन यू और योर्स चेंज अकॉर्डिंग टू द पर्सन ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्ट, यानी कि लिसनर, या आप उसको लिसनर कह लो या आप उसको ऑब्जेक्ट कह लो। ही इज subject here, he is speaker here, her is object here और her is listener here. Okay, वही बात जो मैंने आपको अभी बताई है। He told her, inverted commas begin, I love you. He told her that I is the first person, it will go towards the speaker, he and love. You is the second person, it will go towards the listener or the object. Her is here, that is why he loved her. Why we have written love here? Because love is present indefinite tense, and present indefinite tense always goes into past indefinite tense. I hope till here it is clear to you. Okay, let me check the chat. Okay. So another example, I told him you are a stupid. I told him that he was a stupid. See, you is second person pronoun, and second person pronoun always goes towards the object or listener. Listener is he here. He. He was stupid. Okay? Now, third person pronoun. Third person pronouns do not normally change in the reported speech. Third person pronouns never changes. See, she said, I love him. She said that she loved him. Him is third person pronoun. That is why it will not change. It will remain as it is. I hope these are clear, beta. First person pronoun always changes according to the speaker. Okay, there will be no change in the pronouns when speaker actually quotes his own words. Then second person pronoun changes according to the object or listener, and third person of pronouns normally do not change in reported speech. Okay, now we have change in adverbs of time and place. You people already know how we are supposed to change them. This into that day, this into that, today into that day, now into then, these into those, here into there, tomorrow into the next day or the following day, yesterday, the previous day or the last day, tonight into that night, thus into so. These conversions are already known to you. There is nothing new in these conversions. Class 10 beta, two things are very important to learn. First one is change of tense and second one is change of pronouns. Rest of the changes are, I hope, clear to you, beta. So tenses and conversion of pronoun is very, very important for you to learn. So please learn them on your fingertips, how you are supposed to change one tense into another tense and how you are supposed to change the pronoun. You people mostly make these two mistakes in the narrations, and your marks are lost by you people. So please don't give any chance to the teachers to lose the marks. Okay? So in our next language class, we will study assertive narrations, interrogative, exclamatory, imperative, and optative. One by one, we will learn them. Don't worry, we will not do them all together. Acha, what is your to do task? You have to review today's lecture very carefully. You have to learn all the rules of changing direct speech into indirect speech, and you have to practice नरेशंस। बेटा प्लीज आप लोग आज के लेक्चर की प्रैक्टिस कीजिएगा, और आपको गूगल क्लासरूम पे नोटिस भी आ गया होगा कि फ्रॉम टुडे ऑनवर्ड्स यू आर गोइंग टू गेट योर होमवर्क्स एज वेल। Now, from today onward, you are going to start your written homeworks as well in your language journals.